Do you have an old workplace retirement plan that you've left behind at a previous place of employment? Maybe a 401k, a 403b, something of that nature? If so, when should you move that money? That's what we're going to be discussing today. I'm here with Bruce Elfenbein. He is a certified financial fiduciary with the Retirement Company. And Bruce, I know this is a very common thing that you help folks navigate through. When should someone move an old workplace retirement plan that they have left behind?
That is an excellent question. And you're right. That's something I get a couple times a week. Mm-hmm. The thing about 401ks, if you're working and your employer is giving you a match, mm-hmm. you max out your contributions to meet the match that your employer is giving you.
Right.
Do you have any idea what an average 401k, what people are paying in fees by any chance?
Oh, it's a lot more than I think most people realize.
Well, there's up to 24 different fees they're allowed to charge you. Mm-hmm. By law, they're only required to disclose 8 of those fees.
Wow.
So if you do a little research, you find out that these average companies, you're paying between 4 and 5% a year in fees. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're working and getting a match, okay, that's great. Mm-hmm. And I'm a big fan of the 401ks. Without it, most people wouldn't have a retirement.
Right.
Okay, so I'm all in favor of that.
Yep.
However, if you're not getting a match, why are you paying 4 or 5% a year? Right? Mm-hmm. That means the first 4 or 5% you earn is gone. Right. That's just going to cover the fees. You gotta hope to do better than that in order to come out ahead. Mm-hmm. So generally, if you are no longer working for the company that you have your 401k with, mm-hmm. if you're not getting a match from your employer, mm-hmm. you want to find an alternative. Yeah. You'll find places that will give you returns as good, if not better, mm-hmm. than what you're getting in your 401k without paying 4 or 5% a year.
So not only do you have the potential to lower your fees, but also if you leave that money behind, you're then limited to whatever investment options that company provides. But to your point, once you move that money, now you have control over that money and you get to choose how it's invested, right?
Right. And it's very common. A lot of my clients will say, look, I got a 401k at work. Mm-hmm. Here's my choice of funds. What should I do? Mm-hmm. And when I sit down and look at them, sometimes you have some good ones in there. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the funds that they offer you at the 401k are really good for the company offering them, not necessarily really great for the person that's investing in them, mm-hmm. okay? But your choices are limited.
It's that more cookie cutter approach versus an individualized plan. Yeah.
And mm-hmm. you know, you're limited to those choices, mm-hmm. okay, whether they're good or not. That's the menu you have to choose from.
Right.
Right? If you go into a burger place mm-hmm. and all they serve is burgers and you want fish, you might be out of luck.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
So in order to get the best returns, in order to not pay those 4 or 5% a year in fees, generally, when you're no longer getting a match on your 401k, you want to take a look at moving that thing to a better place.
Well, I've read a stat that on average, most Americans have 5 old dormant accounts floating around out there. So if that's you, know that you're not alone. I think a lot of people leave the money behind, Bruce, because they're overwhelmed. They don't know what to do with it. So what would you say to someone who's watching, who's going, yes, I do have, that's me. I have an old account. What would you say to encourage them?
Well, I don't want to sound self-serving, but call me, mm-hmm. right? And if you can't get hold of me, there's a lot of great advisors. There's a lot of great certified financial fiduciaries in this country that you can trust that'll point you in the right direction. And that's really what we want. You know, most people don't realize this. There's over 90,000 different financial products in the U.S. markets alone. It's difficult for people that do this for a living, full time, to track all that. How does somebody that doesn't track all that? But if you use a professional and they know what they're doing, trust me, you'll be happy.
Well, I know this is what you do for folks day in and day out, and you're excited to connect with more people to be able to help and serve them. So if you have old accounts floating around out there, you want help navigating what you should do and how to roll that money over the way it needs to be done, we encourage you to contact Bruce Elfenbein and the team of the Retirement Company. To learn more about Bruce and the team of the Retirement Company, we encourage you to call this number, 786-546-9302.